There's no place to escape to.
This is the last podcast.
On the left. That's when the cannibalism started.
What was that?
I've been pumping iron, man.
Really?
Yeah.
What have you been doing?
A lot of...
Do you just do that and you sit in the house?
All day now, I just go on and off my exercise bike and I pump iron.
God, you must be frightening in the living room.
I'm loving it, man. I'm doing push-ups on my knees.
What does Travis do? Does he just sit and just
Looks
watch
at me.
Just like, if he comes in here with an AK-47, he's about to shoot up the fucking Capitol building.
That's it. All right, welcome to the show, everyone. I am Ben Kissel with Marcus Parks, and he's back from disgusting Los Angeles. He's in studio.
I'm in even more disgusting New York City.
Oh,
yeah. I love it. As soon as I come over the BQE and I see that skyline, I go, all these other fucking cities are trying to be that skyline, but they can't be. They don't have the fucking guts.
And they're not built on a trash heap.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have the guts
We
to live on top of a gigantic radioactive trash heap.
Wow, so brave.
Brave.
Well, speaking of trash heaps and overall things that are disgusting, this episode, I'm sorry, what we're going to talk about, it is disturbing to say the least.
You say I'm sorry. I say you're welcome.
All right. Well, it's Children of God, Part 3, and it's just getting ookier and...
gookier. I say ookier and gookier.
Sure.
I don't mean gookier.
We don't have to clarify. It's more of a spunky.
You know what I mean.
It's very spunky.
It's very... Yes.
Spunky.
Yeah.
All right.
This episode made me feel like Pete Townsend doing research, quote unquote research.
Yeah, me too. That's exactly how it feels. This is going to be the low point of our Children of God series. It's going to be a 4-parter. This right here is all of the disgusting stuff that we've been alluding to, that we've been heading towards for the last couple of episodes. This is it right here. This is why the Children of God should be wiped away.
If you're babysitting right now, wait till you're done.
Yeah, definitely. Don't listen to this with a child or
if you
anybody.
have a child like on your knee,
Nuh-uh.
get rid of it.
Go away.
Get out of there. You're disgusting, first of all.
No, if you're walking near a playground, or even if you're thinking about having a child, don't listen to it.
Don't listen to this podcast.
Absolutely not. So let's start off with flirty fishing. Now, flirty fishing is something that we've been alluding to for a while now. Let's finally get into this practice. Flirty fishing was a form of religious prostitution based on Matthew chapter 4, verse 19. Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men.
But basically, he was talking to Paul and Thomas, who I assume must have had the sweetest apple bottoms in all of America.
All the walking,
all of the whatever in Jerusalem at the time.
Jerusalem.
Because Jesus Christ was just surrounded, and don't get me wrong here, but I assume by 12 homosexual men in the desert.
Oh, tight men. There wasn't enough food to be fat.
And so they're walking around dressed as ladies like Bugs Bunny in the cartoons, from the Looney Tunes cartoons, and attracting men, and then they'd flip off the fucking dress and be like, ha, got you. And then the guy that they fished was just like, oh, I knew all along. I could see mustache at bottom of scarf.
Yes. I don't think this was supposed to be a parable or an analogy for sex. It was supposed to be about saving people's souls, right?
Well, I mean,
Sure,
that's
whatever.
That's what my parents led to me to believe. Anyway.
And you remember when we were in high school, there were all those douchebags that wore the hooks on the bills of their caps?
Yes. What was that about?
That was about fishers of men.
They just liked bait. Everybody this is all. I mean, yes, of course it was supposed to have a nice meaning, but this is the coolest meaning of all. Flip it into prostitution.
I guess so. Yeah, I always thought they were just ready to fish whenever they were looking for a bass.
So starting with just women in the inner circle, Berg ordered members to go out, pick up guys wherever they could, seduce them, and then bring them back into the cult afterward. Now, David Berg at first justified flirty fishing by saying it was the only way left for the Children of God to recruit members, as they were being persecuted so widely for their practice of litnessing, which was just handing out pamphlets.
I see.
But that still happens nowadays with Greenpeace and people like working for LGBT sort of thing, and they're doing lovely work for very good societies, very good charities. They're annoying as shit.
Yeah.
Don't talk to me. Don't look at me.
They harass you on the streets.
Don't touch me. Which is why.
Do they touch you?
They sometimes will like do that thing where they try to flirt and they touch your arm, and I'm like, "Don't you fucking touch me?
Yeah,
don't touch me. I'll burn your whole building down."
Whoa.
And then I escalate.
Yeah,
I'm a
you seem
Marxist.
to bring it to another level there.
Yeah, what they're saying is that they needed a more clandestine way to recruit members through unconventional methods, and so Flirty Fishing was born.
I do like the idea of Gary Ridgway picking up one of these Christian prostitutes, and then he's in a torture chamber. He's living the horror life that he wasn't even expecting. He thought he was going to kill them.
Oh,
and now he's a member of the Children of God. That's worse than anything.
Oh, no. Gary Ridgway would have strangled her to death long before she started talking about David Berg.
You're always right, dog meat.
I'll have to give it to him once again.
Now, about the FFers, as they were called, Berg said that they should not let self and pride enter in, and reminded them that according to 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verses 19 and 20, their body had already been bought by Jesus through the crucifixion, and this was their way of paying him back.
This guy's playing fast and loose. And when it comes down to it, it's like he could have done whatever he wanted. Again, we're going to see that David Berg used the cult to sort of live out his own fantasies. And a part of his fantasies was being a gigantic pimp.
Yeah. And that's exactly what this was. That, and these women, they called themselves like hookers for Jesus. There was absolutely no pretending here. They knew exactly what they were doing.
And that is kind of a biblical trope, Mary Magdalene and all that.
Because
that whole
she was
gang.
blowing Jesus, right?
Yeah. She blew the whole town, and he saved her life.
And then you have to suck his dick if he saved your life.
I would assume there's some documents that were missing.
That's an Italian rule.
I'm not going to disagree with you.
Police officers in Rome get blown every day just by faking killing people. You know what I mean?
corrupt
They
system.
fake catastrophes.
It's a bad system.
No, Berg's ultimate justification, and the justification he would eventually use to excuse any and all horrific behavior the cult might engage in, was from Titus chapter 1, verse 15, which said, "To the pure, all things are pure."
And it's just after you say it over and over again, after you just got done molesting your granddaughter,
Right.
then you turn to the side and go, "To the pure, all things are pure."
But I think you could even take it to a situation where you're chewing your gum. Oh, it accidentally falls out of your mouth. You got to pick it up. To the pure, all things are pure. And you pop in a piece of filthy Wrigley's.
Technically, that's where the 5-second rule came from.
I think that might be the case.
But it's sad how the 5-second rule then somehow, in some twisted way, led to molesting your granddaughter.
You know what? You are caught up on that, but at the same time, it happened, and I have to be. I have to allow that to.
You are a little jammed up on the whole
It's
molesting.
really fucked up.
They just seem to be the thing that you can't get out of your brain. the
I
most.
can't get it out of my brain.
Now, this right here, this is a clip of Berg talking about Flirty Fishing.
My sexy little fishes are doing the job. They tease them, flirt with them, then screw them until they drop. That's the way to bring them to the Lord. Forget all that old-fashioned gospel preaching. We're 6 times more effective than Billy Graham. Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
Good God, he sounds like Bob Ross and the old guy from Family Guy, the child molester.
He actually does kind of look like Bob Ross.
a little bit. If Bob Ross only painted gaping, God knows.
Asshole.
Yeah, I don't want to say anything. This whole episode's so disgusting.
But one thing I will say the term refreshing. What I find refreshing is that David Berg is at least out in the open about being a total sex deviant.
Yeah.
Where most priests do that on the private inside of their offices. He came out and he made pamphlets about it.
Right. I suppose you know what you're getting into.
Well, I mean, really, actually, you didn't know what you were getting into because a lot of times, the children of God, it would start off with, you couldn't even hold each other's hands. They really edged people into this.
But that's just for the lifers. Those are the people who've been there since the very beginning. That shit flipped. Like, really, really fast. At this point, they're traveling all over the world. Once they got to the point that they were moving from compound to compound, when they got away from Fred Jordan's ranch, and they were, like, basically on the run 24/7, that's when people started fucking.
Yeah.
Okay.
God, that must have been exciting, though, if not incredibly stinky, and also against every rule of family that's ever been.
Yeah, it's like a non-musical version of when the band and Janis Joplin all got on that train.
Yeah, but-
Neil Young was there and Bob Dylan. They went through Canada.
But it's not. It's that. Imagine if if Neil Young was also your fresh, perfect daughter?
I see. It's another time where you seem to be caught up on that.
I have no choice.
Well, I don't. You do have it. Well, we're going to move on.
Now, as with everything else in The Children of God, Berg tightly controlled every aspect of flirty fishing. Here are, according to David Berg in an illustrated Mo letter of the same name, the 7 F's of FFing.
What is it with it about cults and using acronyms and using like and initials?
Because
and
they have to repeat this stuff over and over and over again. And if people hear just an acronym, they don't have to necessarily think about a concept anymore. They just think about it
terms,
as
like
terms.
technical terms. It's
Yeah.
because Scientology is obviously very guilty of
Yeah.
that with
And
the
they-
SPs and all the fucking horseshit.
Well, they repeat this shit over. They have to repeat it over and over so much to really get it stuck in their members' heads, and it gets a little cumbersome to say flirty fishing over and over and over and over again.
It's also interesting, maybe only to me, but the fact that in the older ideas of earlier Jewish religions and Christian religions, it kind of seemed like they put more emphasis on the long things and the big long Latin masses and reading through the huge tomes of the Torah, where they thought that was more important because it was big and lofty and really complicated, where now in modern times it has to be really short and simple, and it has to be like TGIF.
Yeah, thank God it is Friday.
Now, let's go through these 7 FFs. Number 1, effective.
That's
Hold
an
on.
E, though.
Hold on. It has 2 F's in it. So if all these words have 2 F's in it, I'll still give them FFs.
All right, sounds good. Effective. In just the first 4 years of FFing, Berg said they witnessed to over 400,000 souls, meaning that they talked to 400,000 people. They tried 400,000 times. They cast that lure out, whereas they only actually fucked 63,000.
What's the percentages on that?
1 out of 7.
Hell yeah.
Was Wilt Chamberlain a child of God?
Yeah, he was
3,000?
he was half of that.
That seems like a lot.
Yeah, and out of those 1 out of 7, half of those stayed in the Children of God. I mean, 1 out of 2 ain't bad. That's pretty good percentages.
1 out of 2 out of 1 out of 7.
Yeah.
So that's actually, I think, 1 out of 14.
I think it's 0.5 out of 7.
Is it 1 out of 14? I don't know if that is.
Everybody's shut up.
Hey,
I'm
man.
not a calculator.
It's not a math podcast.
Number 2, effective.
That's not a word.
Which is the same thing. He just made a new word and made it number 2.
Effective?
Effective and effective. You got to be effective and you got to be effective.
David Berg again, refreshing in a way that he was very silly.
I mean, he got drunk.
Yes.
Oh,
If we'll call it effective.
And he was like specifically wine drunk, which is like
Yeah.
the type of drunk where like bubbles are coming out of your mouth and you're fingering your family. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, again.
red teeth. Number 3.
Yeah, that makes the whole thing so much more.
It just reminded me, imagine my Grimace was my grandfather and he was blowing me as a child.
Number 3, fruitful. That's the part he finally got to an F.
Hey, all
Fruitful.
right.
Do it as much as you possibly can with as many people as you possibly can.
Hell yeah.
Number 4, efficient.
Okay. I mean,
really
you know,
bothering
at this
me.
point, he's already fucking everybody, so it doesn't even matter. He's already torn your family apart. You can't sit here and mince words about fucking Fs.
Well, I guess that is another 2 F word, though.
Yeah, it
It's in
is.
a strange way this is working out.
Yeah, I kind of got, you know what? I'm kind of with you on that. So, as far as efficient goes, by the time Flirty Fishing came around, Berg had begun to abandon hippies completely. He said that their message, quote,
must now be spread amongst our rich elders and influential businessmen, politicians, and government leaders if we're able to obtain their favor and protection and to continue to have opportunities to reach their young.
Good Christ. You know, all
He's
these...
right, though.
no, the 5th one, or actually, number 5, financial. Make your catches so grateful of your sexual skills that they, at the very least, will make a donation. And not coincidentally, a lot of FFers also worked as escorts.
No way.
That's stunning. So I love that he does call the John Payne, the prostitute, just a nice donation. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's tipping him.
Yeah, just a little tip. I don't know where the tip jar
I
is,
think
but
they should be paid a living wage.
I agree with that.
Number 6, official. 2 Fs.
Okay, wow.
I mean,
it
the
still fits.
rule's already been set up.
And that's make sure you fuck influential people who might be in a position to help out the family should any legal trouble arise.
And that's just a good lesson for life. For anybody out there. Fuck somebody important. It'll help you.
Yeah, ruin their life. Look what happened to Elliot Spitzer. You know, if they leave their socks on, they got money. That's a fact.
Yeah, because he's too busy.
Too busy. Don't take the socks off.
And number 7, forever.
Hey, all right.
In the first 4 years of FFing, 300 children had been born from the practice, as birth control or even pulling out was not allowed in the children of God. And these kids were known as Jesus babies, the most famous of which we'll get to know later on.
And again, this is a really surefire. This is a perfect way to add numbers to your cult.
Yeah.
It isn't the perfect way to add numbers to your cult.
Yes,
How about
it
having
is.
a message that doesn't involve prostitution?
Because then it wouldn't
and then
be
you
a
just
cult.
slowly have it.
Because eventually it wouldn't be a cult. It would become like a business. It would become something good. In order for it to stay, if you want to like not fucking sell out and stay a cult, you get your followers to have unprotected sex with various rich men, get their cash, have babies into the cult. Now you're getting numbers.
I guess so, but what guy doesn't wear a condom when having sex with a prostitute? That's going to be a massive red flag.
Influential businessmen.
And Europeans.
They don't wear condoms?
Nah.
Well, they're
That's a big jump.
uncircumcised. So
That's a big jump. I think we're going to get letters on that, but I
don't
do
know.
concur. I do imagine that most Europeans, they just shoot it wherever it comes out.
It seems to be confusing for the John.
And this is also the 70s as well.
Oh, no rules.
Yeah. No, this is the 70s. No rules, just right. So, Karen Zerby, Berg's wife, a.k.a. the new wine.
And nothing's better than a fresh, brand new wine.
She was the very first flirty fisher. Now, while her and Berg were living in England in the early 70s, they came upon the idea that the most effective way to get people to listen to their message was to just fuck them first.
You know, the first one is that he said, "Hey, Karen, can you go out and blow that guy over there? I want a Snickers."
I mean, it's not wrong. I understand what they really just went for the most simple plan possible.
They really did, yeah. And so Zerby took ballroom dancing lessons and hit the London nightclub scene. Her first successful fishing expedition brought home an Englishman who was dubbed King Arthur by David Berg in a series of 23 Mo letters called King Arthur's Knights, the Night Crawlers.
I just feel like he might have liked him more than she did.
He does talk about sexy men quite a bit.
He does.
He says these. I actually don't think he did a lot of homosexual activity. I don't know. I think maybe he dabbled. It was definitely in there.
I think he tried it out and just didn't like it.
I think he liked watching his quote-unquote wives have sex with other men.
Yeah.
I think there was something about that he really liked, because he obviously is getting off sexually about them going out and having sex with these men.
He just likes people to be happy around him. I guess. I don't know.
Does he say he's like a good party host? Like he's
I
Jimmy
don't
Fallon?
know. I mean, I think they're having fun sex around him, and he's just kind of eating cheese. And
I think there's a lot of quiet crying happening.
I don't know.
No, in the series, King Arthur's Knights, the Night Crawlers, written about 2 years after the expedition itself, Berg said that since being brought into the cult, King Arthur had become a central member in his inner circle, and that this was proof to Berg that the method worked, and so it was expanded to all members. The first place that flirty fishing was widely practiced was in Tenerife in Spain under Berg's personal direction.
Now, this is actually, Tenerife is actually an island of the Spanish coast. I looked it up on a map.
Very good.
They say that it's a very interesting, in the book what we've been reading for we're getting a lot of research from, Jesus Freaks, they say that it's very interesting that he really solidified the flirty fishing concept while at a bar, hammered. He was at a island bar drinking fruity margaritas with his 5 wives around him, literally going like, "You know what would be kind of fucking awesome? If y'all started fucking them for money, and I got the money."
If you like pina coladas.
It's literally that song, but mixed with a cult.
Yeah, he had a group of about 20 people, both men and women, and those people were instructed to cast their nets as wide as they could to catch as many fish as possible. He tested it out with these 20 people for a couple of years before he actually put it out into the general population.
What an incredible life that must have been for a hot second, that leader of that cult. I mean, it's just, I mean, yes, it's
For the
terrible.
prostitutes?
No, not for them. David Burke. He's there
I guess.
on an island bar You got the steel drums. Bang, dong, ding, bodo, ding, dong, ding, dong, ding. Every day.
I think that's the Caribbean. I don't think that's in Spain.
That's an island, isn't it? I don't know.
Everybody's got steel drums.
Just because it's an island doesn't mean it has
If a
steel
country
drums.
has pans, they have a steel drum.
Ding, dong, ding. Steel drum's the easiest
Whatever.
fucking instrument to play. You just go ding dong ding bodo, ding dong ding. He's there for 4 years. The party's never got to stop. He just switches out the wives. He's just sitting there just eating nothing but coconut shrimp.
Ooh, oh, I love coconut shrimp. Ooh, I'm going to Applebee's today.
Can you
That's what I've
imagine?
decided.
There's nothing better in the world than a Lido deck on a cruise. Can you imagine your whole life being a Lido deck? There's
What a
nothing
Lido deck
depressing
is.
Yeah, what is a
about that.
Lido deck?
Lido deck.
You're a white trash person from Florida. What's a Lido deck?
Yeah.
Lido deck is where
Please.
a lot of times they'll have a hamburger bar or a sundae bar next to the Lido deck. The Lido deck is not the general population like sunning deck where you go down. The Lido deck is normally an elevated thing where the people that don't want to take their clothes off in front of everyone sit on lawn chairs.
So it's
but you
the
can eat.
they're
That's where you
larger
keep
people.
the food though, but it's fun.
That's it. So it's the
It's the fat cruise area.
Oh, Mr. and Mrs. Dabrowski, right this way.
So you got extra Coke everywhere? Thank God. Oh, God. Oh, 47 ounces of Coke. You got to take this 47-ounce glass from my dead hands.
You should just enjoy the hamburger buffet. Okay, just enjoy it.
Every 2 hours, they re-up it.
Really?
There's a tone. There's like a ding-dong.
Oh,
that
my
plays
God.
every 2 hours when they re-up the
Like
buffet.
drooling fat dogs. Yes.
But that's the dream life. David Berg's living the dream.
I have a question when it comes to the male prostitutes. If the whole point is to get impregnated, the theory then would be the guys are trying to impregnate women and then they have to convince them to have the kid in the cult?
The
or-
point isn't to get impregnated. Getting impregnated is a wonderful side. It's a happy accident. It's a happy side effect. The whole point is to bring new people into the cult.
That's what my
And
parents said I was.
A happy accident?
Yeah.
Oof. Boy, that's just a way of saying they don't want you.
But at least they're flipping it and saying happy accident.
Happy accident.
Well, really, the men, what their job was, I'm pretty sure, because I was really thinking about it and trying to figure out why they were bringing in the men,
Right.
and that really comes in with the catacombers. And the catacombers were members of the cult who were not allowed to say that they were members of the cult. It was named after the old Christians who had to hide in the catacombs to meet and worship and all that. But the reason why they were catacombers and why they couldn't tell anybody about being in the cult was because they were all underage. And I'm pretty sure that the men flirty fishers were there to lure in underage girls.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So
You
just
got to
when-
pat it.
Really, over the years, they catch Arab oil millionaires, international financiers, military officers, among many other regular people, most of whom, at the very least, contributed financially to the children of God. And some flirty fishers dispensed with any pretense that they were actually prostitutes. Like I said, they called themselves hookers for Jesus.
I do want to get a baseball jacket that says hooker for Jesus.
That's kind of fun. That is fun.
Yeah, and they participated in what they called ESing, or escort servicing.
Again, a perfect example of taking the escort out of it.
Yeah.
Like basically you take the word out of it, so you take the power away from the idea that you're actually having sex for money.
Yeah, exactly. But because Berg had banned all contraceptives, the children of God became a breeding ground for VD. But Berg said not to worry, writing,
Can you trust God you won't catch anything, including a germ or a sperm, and that even if you do, he'll keep or heal or help you to bear all things? Come on, man. Dig it. Get groovy with it, buddy. You got a bit of a... Is that a mole? Oh, you should get that checked out because it is growing. But don't worry. God will heal it.
It's like a disgusting Dr. Seuss.
Here's $5 coupon to the Burger King. Go over there and enjoy yourself, all right? Forget about that pesky, oh my God, it is spreading visibly in front of my eyes.
Just looks like the map from Outbreak. Slowly turning red.
Further demonstrating his control, Berg made each colony fill out heavily detailed monthly FF report forms that would be mailed to the Children of God's Italy office. These things were extremely detailed. They had to say exactly how many times they'd done it that month. They'd have to say if they'd done it with a live-in, which is somebody who was brought into the cult, a friend of the cult who was someone who was a part of it but didn't live with them, or catacombers who were, as I said earlier, underage kids. They even had like an FFer of the month. They have monthly rankings.
You gotta have it. People need prizes. People need trophies.
I mean,
Yeah.
I guess so.
They had the top, every month you had to list your top three. Who were your top three FFers? efforts. And he had a whole Mo letter that was all about what the rules of these report forms were. I read a lot of Mo letters over the last few weeks. These things are almost incomprehensible. They're rambling, and above all, they are fucking disgusting.
They're very, very disgusting.
And there's over 4,000 of them.
There's a lot to read if you're interested.
I mean, I only read a few dozen, but Jesus Christ.
Go to xfamily.org. That has all of them. Everything with the ones that they could find that are archived there, and there's a lot of Children of God music, and then all of the Story of Davidito, which we'll get into.
Or don't go to that website. Don't. Just what's on ESPN.
It's fascinating. It's all run by former cult members who have gotten out. And
what I think is so interesting, the Oakland Raiders are doing great this year.
Are they now?
Isn't that exciting?
Are they as rough and tumble as they've always been?
They're rough.
That is
lost to the
interesting.
Chiefs, though.
Yeah.
Anyway, what are we talking about?
Don't change the fucking subject.
We can't change the subject.
Oh,
I see.
No,
I was just trying to
we did a
pivot
lot
little.
of we did a lot of work on
Hours of work. I read an
surprisingly
entire book
good
about
though.
this.
Yeah, but David Carr, great season. Wow, what a guy. Wow.
Everybody gather around. Listen. This is Mary. Yes, Flirty Fisher of the month. March. Everyone give her a round of applause. Isn't it absolutely the coolest, most grooviest thing on the face of the planet? Her vagina ate her own legs. And when I heard, tell me, Mary, if it is true or not, you did 12 men at once?
Yes, it was the Oakland Raiders.
Wow, isn't that exciting?
Comes back around.
Maybe that's why they're doing so well.
No, as Flirty Fishing was being introduced, the concept of sexual sharing was also being integrated into the Children of God's belief system. This meant that any and all Children of God members were not only permitted, not only encouraged, but were required to have sex with each other, including their own family members and including children.
The worst part is the required
Yeah,
part.
the other parts are like free will. You can do as you might want to.
Disgusting.
The required part makes it illegal, I think.
Yes.
I mean, the whole part is it's illegal to have sex with your mother. It's illegal to have sex with children.
Well, if that is wrong, if having sex with mommy is wrong, I want to be wrong.
That's how jazz music started.
What?
Yeah.
How did jazz? What?
We're gonna have to get into now. God.
Yeah,
I don't even know how to begin to
Ben
roll
Kissel's
that back.
understanding of music history.
Jazz music started.
Let's hear.
You want to get into that?
Yeah, I really want to hear how I say having sex with him.
Let's give him a solid 45 seconds to explain how jazz music was started by having sex with your own mother.
You can't have jazz music without tension. And then what's more tense than wanting to have sex with your mom? And then if you think about the horns and how fun that is for people to play, and every mother applauds a son who can play an instrument.
25 seconds. You have 15 seconds left.
Well, I don't like to get into it, but we don't know the origins of jazz, and I think it's important to remember that there's a whole series of possibilities out there.
I wish this was a live news recording, like if this was Red Eye, and then it cut to the studio audience, and you hear like the gum wrappers and their pockets move. It's so quiet.
How did jazz come about? You tell me, because
Ken Burns did like an 8-part series on it.
I'll tell you how it started.
I'm sure he covered it then. I'm sure Ken Burns had a whole chapter on the love between that.
It started just like this. First caveman to do that.
All right. Okay.
Well, let's get into one of the most infamous Mo letters. It's called "The Devil Hates Sex, but God Loves It." And this is David Berg justifying everything.
There's nothing in the world at all wrong with sex as long as it's practiced in love. Whatever it is, or whoever it's with, no matter who or what age or what relative or what matter. I'm talking about natural, normal, godly love as manifested in sex. As far as I'm concerned, for whomever. There are no relationship restrictions or age limitations in his law of love. But system laws make it all against the law. And if I tell you what I think, I'd probably break the law publishing it. Woo! Wow! The system really stinks.
I mean, the Bible is full of pedophilia.
Yeah, I mean, it's full of pedophilia.
You can see the expansion of the thought.
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of incest in the Bible. Specifically.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, it's like, what was it? Lot's daughters, after they left Sodom and Gomorrah, they got him wasted 2 nights in a row so they could fuck him so he could have an heir.
Rock and roll.
Oh, my God.
Man, I guess, wow.
I wonder if Lot took a pretzel to his wife because she was all salt. And you dip that there. And that could be where the first deli cart came from.
So cute.
It was just Lot's wife.
And that's how it becomes cute. Then the Bible's cute fun.
I love it. But I do think he's, you can see where he's coming from.
Yeah,
if you look at the Bible as a literal text, it's disgusting.
He can justify all of this shit. He can cherry pick the Bible to make it say whatever he wants.
And by this point, everybody's given up their lives to him. So you kind of just rolling with it. But then you're also going to find out that many sects of the children of God did not fuck their families.
Yeah.
And many of the facts, they read that and they're like, okay, and they would kind of roll with it. There were not many like free love versions of the cult. You're literally just talking about the 20 people directly around David Berg were the ones really living in that family sharing bullshit.
Today's sponsor probably shouldn't be, but still is adamandeve.com. Go to adamandeve.com, and for a limited time only, you'll get 50% off just about any item. When you select your one item at 50% off, you'll also receive 3 free adult DVDs, plus a free mystery gift. And to top it all off, they'll even throw in free shipping on your entire order. adamandeve.com. Use the code LEFT at checkout. That's LEFT at adamandeve.com. Use the code LEFT at adamandeve.com. Now, David Berg, not content to just abuse those around him, also started forcing women, teens, and young children to send him videos of themselves dancing nude in a series he called Glorify God in the Dance. Here's his son talking about it.
Now, Dad personally was a sexy guy, and he would, he would hug the girls and kiss them, and he would have sex with them. It wasn't just sex for sex. It was love. What he did in love, and the girls wanted to be with him. And the dad said, well, look, why don't you try to do some erotic sort of dances? Well, let's try that out and see what it's like. And so they did some. And it was sweet. I mean, they did them for Dad. And like he sort of coached them how to do it. He said, well, have the sarong on you, and then towards the end you can let it down and raise your hands up and praise to God. And he wrote some letters like glorify God in the dance.
Very, very explicit. He wanted 3 songs, 1 slow, get faster, then fade out. He didn't want you to be totally naked. He wanted you to have, use some. He was more into the Grecian thing that make it beautiful. But he made it very instructions from A to Z how to do it.
Oh, so he was kind of like Ed Sullivan.
Yeah, A to Z. That was the show you were on.
Yes, Thursdays NBC. It's never coming back. Because you should have seen, man, that the first version of the F is for Flirty Fishing.
Oh yeah, you never got there.
Rough.
Yes, he had the teeth of a used cigarette filter. I mean, how do people think he's sexy? I don't understand any of this.
You know what's really interesting? So they say the word sexy instead of like horny, because they're saying instead of saying that, and there's something about about dictatorships and cult leaders and what they do about you change the meanings of words, right? Yeah. Using the word sexy and changing it for meaning horny, right? Like saying like my boy is a sexy 5-year-old boy. Please do not isolate that.
No, it's gonna be. And
I know, I have no choice. It's already over. But the idea is instead of saying it's sexy to be horny now, right? Instead of saying him being not that he's just sexually aggressive, it's that he's sexy because he's sexually aggressive.
Yeah.
David Berg is a sexy dad. What he meant to say is my dad is a horny guy instead of my dad is a sexy guy.
Absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
But the idea is that you equate it to then whenever he's horny, it means he's sexy.
Now he's sexy.
It's how Ed Larson from Round Table of Gentlemen used to operate back in the day when he was single.
I don't understand. I don't think Ed wants to be equated with that. Good God.
Well, as far as, you say, he had the teeth of a used cigarette. I mean, this is an excerpt from that same video, and this is a really good example of how brainwashed these women actually were. This is a woman in that video talking directly to David Berg.
And on the first take, I was masturbating to you, and when I came, I broke out in strong tongues. I couldn't control it. And the last few words were, Father, I love you.
God.
Fill me with your seed, Jesus.
I mean, can you imagine just walking into this cult for the first day and you're like, that's who you think is hot?
Then you're like,
what do you...
I'm a 10 here.
I guess that, like, Ron Jeremy is considered attractive by porn standards.
It
I don't
actually
know.
probably keeps men in the cult. That's the whole idea, is you're trying to keep the whole society together. David Berg is the epitome of sexiness. Then, we walk in there.
Well, the vast majority of cult members never saw David Berg in person.
No.
All they knew about, they rarely even actually saw photos of the guy. Usually the only thing they saw him from was in those illustrated Mo letters where he would draw himself as, like, your classic concept of God, pretty much. Bald head, long beard. Either he'd do that or he'd draw himself as a lion, like a man with a lion's head.
A man with a lion's head. It was very interesting. And that's also how you isolate. You create the myth. Yeah. Well, I was reading this article about Prince, and they were talking about how Prince knew that from early on. It's like the less he said about his inner workings, how he did stuff, and the less he told people around him how he did stuff, the more mysterious he was, and it attracts people to you because they want to know. They want to investigate the mystery.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And David Berg knew that instinctively, being like, if I isolate myself, I create this gigantic utopian version of myself, and then it helps you, because it's easier to masturbate to a fantasy than to a real spindly old man with fucking horrible wine breath and like stained fingers.
Yeah.
Now, of course, not all the members of the Children of God went along with all this bullshit. Unfortunately for those members, most of them were teenagers because there were a lot of kids that were growing up, especially in the late 70s and mid-80s. These were kids that were born into the cult, what they called second-generation kids.
And it's very interesting. The cult became really unstable when the kids that were born into the cult started becoming 13, 14, because they started becoming like of a normal mental age where they could reason for themselves and started being like, this is really fucked up.
Yeah, my parents are batshit insane.
Yeah, and so they started fighting against it. It's very cool. It's kind of almost like the Who song like came to life. It's like a Who song that come to life where the kids like took over it, except they didn't.
No.
Yeah, and then of course they go and they fall in love with the Who, and next thing you know, Peter Townsend's arrested.
Oh God,
and the whole thing's falling. Can these kids just not get? Can they just be with a normal person once?
Yeah, these kids, when they were rebelled, they were sent to what the cult called teen training. Teen training happened in secluded camps, usually in third world countries, the worst of which was in the Philippines, where rebellious kids would be subjected to public beatings, starvation, seclusion, being tied to their beds at night, and public humiliation. The most unsettling practice they had at these camps was the use of a crude elastic device attached to the ears and the corners of the mouth that physically forced a smile, a device that they called the smile machine.
Well, I actually like that because it
comes down to it. Smile on the outside first, and then you start smiling on the inside.
It takes less muscles to smile than it does to frown.
And with the smile machine, it takes no muscles to smile. And you know what I think is interesting? And I'm not going to say that this may be inappropriate. It'd be kind of fun to give some of the people who've given our podcast 1 star the smile machine, so that they can enjoy something.
Just smile. You're listening anyway. My favorite. I've listened to all 300 episodes. It stinks.
So by 1978, there were plenty of people who were understandably not on board with the whole prostitution, incest, pedophilia, abusive road the cult was walking down.
You mean nerds.
Wow, I can't believe they weren't on board.
Yeah, so Berg instituted the R&R, or the Reorganization, Nationalization, Revolution, to purge those members who objected. And that same year, down in Guyana, Jim Jones would lead over 900 people to their death in the Jonestown Massacre, leading to a huge public backlash against cults that had been steadily building since the Manson days. Because at that point, like, cults were kind of scary. The Manson family, they were billed as a cult, but it was more of a hippie type thing. And the Jonestown Massacre, that was when people really started to realize that this whole cult thing, regular people could be taken in with it. It was, your sister, your brother, even your mother or father could be taken in by these cults. So there was a huge national backlash.
Of course, doomsday cults are going to end in a doomsday.
Yeah.
That's the whole point. They have an ending built in.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, really, the Children of God are kind of, they're more of a reformed doomsday cult.
Well, yeah, because he stopped doing the doomsday thing as soon as he realized, oh, I could just fuck everybody.
Oh, I see. Then life goes on.
Yeah, then you realize it's because then you could fuck until the sun explodes. It doesn't matter. I don't know. Dad was a real sexy guy.
I've heard the Raiders are great. Now 11-2, I believe. Last year, they're much worse.
I guess you could call a group of men having sex with their children a group of Raiders.
I guess
bringing it back.
I know. We have to bring it back.
Thank you, Henry. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Technically, he did a good job with that, but it's this episode.
Yeah. Oh,
It's
yeah.
just the episode.
And it's about to get worse.
Oh, okay. Good,
yeah.
good,
Now,
great.
Berg, as he would do again and again throughout the years, saw the writing on the wall, faked a disbanding of the cult to get a little heat off himself, and changed the group's name to the even creepier Family of Love.
That's like going from Jefferson Airplane to Jefferson Starship.
Yeah, much scarier.
But by 1978, the Messiah of the Children of God had already been born, a little guy named Ricky Rodriguez, a.k.a. Davidito.
Poor Davidito.
Yeah. So this is where it gets rough. Well, it continues to be rough.
It's going from sandpaper to Stegosauruses back.
Oh, I love the Thagomizer.
Yes.
So in 1974, when Berg and Zerby were still experimenting with flirty fishing, Zerby reportedly had sex 137 times with 18 workers at the Bel Air Hotel where the group stayed. About this, Berg said,
Those sexy men are crazy about Maria, especially the smaller ones. And the janitors, they are the sexiest of all. So sexy, you could call them criminals.
I think I might call them criminals. That's a physical feat. She's a real athlete.
137 times.
That's
You
a
know
lot.
what? Actually, in my head, the first thing I thought of was, how happy were those hotel workers?
They were extremely happy.
There's just one woman.
Yeah.
And it's just 18 guys.
Yep.
So you're looking around. You're looking at, what is that, 38 balls?
That is 38.
How many-
I'd say
is there
somewhere, but to be honest, probably 37. Right?
Maybe 36. Yeah, you got to imagine one's losing.
One's a Hitler in there.
Yeah. Kind of
And
a Tyson
those
type.
guys, that travels, I imagine, through a hotel's like gossip chain.
Quick.
Yeah, but what do you... Hey, come quick. There's one downstairs. She's taking all of us.
That's hotel workers, right?
Yeah, I guess
I don't
so.
know.
I don't know.
Yeah, now Zerby eventually got pregnant.
No way.
And somehow pegged a waiter named Carlos as the father.
Well, they played the not it game, and Carlos was the last one to say not
he
it.
just showed up late because he was stuck in the bathroom with diarrhea.
Why you guys all raising your hands? Not it. Oh, God.
I'm the Padre?
Now, the book of Revelation says that at the end times, 2 of God's prophets would emerge to battle and eventually defeat the Antichrist. And according to Berg's interpretation, one of those would be his wife Karen, while the other would be not Berg, but little Ricky.
Oh, that's nice. He gets a promotion.
It's kind of fun.
This decision came from Berg's obsession with the number 7, which also plays a huge role in Revelations, as we all know. First 7 in Ricky connection was at the time of Ricky's birth, Berg weighed 77 kilos.
That's 77 bags of cocaine.
I know, I was just thinking about that. That's a lot of coke.
Next, Ricky was born in the 7th hour of the 7th day, if you consider the beginning of the day to be 6 a.m. and Saturday to be the end of the biblical week.
I'd say that's fuzzy math.
That's
that
fuzzy,
is
it's
fuzzy
fuzzy
math.
math, but it's kind of true. 6 a.m., you could say that's the beginning of the day.
No.
Why? Technically, midnight's the beginning of the day.
Well,
What?
no, 6 a.m.
No,
is the
but
beginning of the day. At
6
midnight, it's still night.
Midnight is technically the next day. That's why I never
next day.
understand when people say it's really early morning, they mean 3 in the morning, but I say that's really late at night because normally I go to bed at 3 in the morning. But that's just because that's fuzzy math. That depends on what airport you're in. That depends on what business you're in.
Yeah.
6 a.m. is not the beginning of the day. 8 a.m. When do cartoons start on
That
Saturday
doesn't
morning?
happen anymore. That does not happen
Yeah, it
anymore.
does.
You are ancient. That does not happen anymore.
8 a.m.
Furthermore, Ricky was born on January 25th, 2 + 5 = 7, And the bill at the end of the hospital stay came out to 7,000 pesetas.
And it also went to 7 different creditors before it was eventually not paid.
Oh my God! It's like the end of the movie Clue. It's just this is madness.
It's fuzzy math.
It's fuzzy.
It's very fuzzy math. Now, even though Ricky was not Berg's biological son, he got around this by saying that David was Ricky's spiritual father and not just his, quote, flesh daddy, as he referred to Carlos
That's
as.
me now. That's my new name.
You want to be Flesh Daddy?
Yeah, absolutely. Otherwise, but to my friends, I'm Skinny Daddy.
No, you're flesh daddy.
Yeah, you're definitely Flesh Daddy.
I would
And
rather-
no way is anyone calling you Skinny Daddy.
Yeah, I don't want to call you flesh daddy, but I want to call you skinny daddy less.
Okay, less than that. So you're talking about, so you want me to call me Flesh Daddy 1/7 of the time, and then Skinny Daddy 1/14 of the time. Fuzzy math.
I don't know if any of that works out.
And Carlos, by the way, skipped the fuck out of there as soon as he realized he wasn't just having fun gangbanging the crazy American woman.
Well, do you
there
know-
was actual religion involved.
Did you put there's one story of what happened. So Carlos did not know he was a father. When he showed up, Kathy went and got him and said, I have to show you something miraculous.
Yeah, this is in the Mo letter, Life with Grandpa.
And he does not know he did not know what was going on. They go to a hotel room where he did not know David Berg. The door's opened by this old man. And he's like, Carlos, Flesh Daddy, come inside. No clue what's going on. They walk to see a baby's crib. And he's just like, you're the father of our new savior. No clue that this woman that he's just been banging on the side, he is a hotel
Him and 18 other guys.
Yes, and they all know that they've been having sex with her. He shows up. This woman is like, you're the father of the prophet. And he's sitting there, and David Berg pours them all a glass of wine, and he's just like, okay, now let the sharing begin. He tried to get Carlos to molest his own son and have sex with with his wife in front of him in the room. And Carlos waited till he finished the glass of wine, and this is true, and then got the fuck out of there.
He stood up and said, "No vengas a mí con eso."
But the penalties in the NFL, I feel like Goodell's got to loosen up the rules a little bit. You know, it's really hurting the game.
But this is true. Is that
Wow.
Carlos, just in a world of just can you imagine that? This is why Tinder's gonna end in this. You're the father of the prophet. The fucking 4 words you don't want to hear at the end of a date.
Definitely not.
And that is true.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's a story that he told in the Illustrated Mo letter, Life with Grandpa, because this whole Illustrated Mo letter, it was Berg talking to little Ricky, who was asking about Daddy, why am I brown? You know, he's like, why am I brown and you're white?
Well, you just be like, don't worry about it. John Leguizamo will explain this to you in a Netflix special, and you'll relate to him.
Or my childhood friend Eric Rodriguez. I remember we were like 5 or 6 years old, and I remember saying to him at some point, I was like, I didn't understand. I was like, why are you browner than me? And he said because he had a tan really young as a baby.
Yeah, it's because you're like the whitest of all the races, Henry.
Yeah,
I'm brown.
Polish, Scottish. Yeah, I'm pink. Technically, I'm pink. So this was his explanation.
God just used Carlos only to fuck Mama so that I could have you. He was just like an instrument or tool that Jesus used to help create you for his kingdom. Praise the Lord.
Yeah, Berg compared himself to a farmer, saying the crop belongs to the one who tended the soil, not the tools. He told Ricky,
A penis is like a plow, and a woman's womb is like a furrow, in which the man plants his seed. I am like the farmer, and you are like my little crop.
You know, this is just, it's fun. It's a good dinner. It's a fun family dinner. But I gotta go chew gum.
Dickie, my son, what am I doing right now?
You are holding your cock.
Yes.
and while all of that does sound extremely fucked up, extremely inappropriate.
Yes, it does.
It wouldn't even come close to what would be written in the book that would obsessively document every detail of Ricky's first few years on this earth, clocking in at 762 pages. The Story of Davidito is perhaps one of the most disturbing cult artifacts that still exist to this day.
I think a good way, if you really want to like ruin Christmas this year, like let's say you're having problems with family and you really want to ruin it, print out a gigantic PDF copy of the Story of Davidito and just start reading it on Christmas Eve.
Yeah. I would like to print it out and then put it inside of a Harry Potter book. And then just be like, have you read Harry Potter?
You would be put in fucking Guantanamo Bay.
And then my mom would be like, Harry Potter, I heard that's kind of fun. And then she's thumbing through that. And then that would be bad.
And from now on, I will stop calling him Dickie. Because it is a very serious story.
It is.
Thank you, Henry. No, I mean, really, like, Ricky,
it's fucked up.
Ricky Rodriguez is possibly the saddest person that we've ever covered. Like, this is really, this story, like the actual story of, the guy, Ricky Rodriguez, which, really the fourth episode is all about him. Like, again, it's only about him. Like, he is a broken person.
We remember in the abstract, this stuff is really ridiculous sounding, right?
Yeah.
Like David Berg, of course, is a ridiculous, disgusting old man, and you read it, and it's. You imagine you're like your grandpa, like grabbing at nurses' asses, like in a nursing home. Mm. But when it's actually your grandfather, it takes a level of, a truly tragic, like angle. His life was tragic.
Yeah. It was absolutely, and he had no chance whatsoever, like growing up in this shit, like really, because when you hear about all this shit, you're not really able to visualize like the victims of this type of situation and these types of people. And Ricky Rodriguez, we're going to be covering a victim here.
Yeah.
So originally published in 1982 and later re-released in a heavily edited version after they realized that people could use this fucking document to prosecute them for child abuse, The Story of Davidito was supposed to be a manual for raising children.
There is nothing, I think the most haunting thing about The Story of Davidito is that what they did is they replaced their faces with hand-drawn drawings on top of all of their faces.
Smiley faces.
And it is brutal to look at. Yeah. No, it's not good.
Not good.
No, it's certainly not Stan Lee's best work.
No, he always puts himself in the movies too, and I thought that was kind of
inappropriate, self-serving.
Stan Lee isn't he's not an artist. He's more of a writer. If you said Steve Ditko, then that would make.
I'm sorry.
Henry's an idiot.
I'm sorry. Is this Wizard and the Bruiser
on Cave Comedy Radio? Go check it out.
In the middle of this horrible story.
Well, that's a perfect place to plug it, I think.
Now, the book was used as a guideline for the second generation of the Children of God, who, as we said earlier, were made up of members born into the cult, mostly Jesus babies born out of the tens of thousands of Flirty Fishing encounters.
And remember, they thought he was the prophet, so they thought that every single bit of his movements needed to be recorded. His story needed to be told, and then if we're raising the prophet this way, every child within the Children of God should be raised this way.
The Nixon-like ego on these maniacs.
Yeah, having to record everything.
Let's make sure to record all the felonies. And just every felony I commit, let's make sure to record it.
Yeah, and to give you a scope of how many people followed this book and believed that a kid named Ricky Rodriguez was the Messiah, in 1978, the Children of God claimed 8,000 members living in 228 communal homes worldwide. In 1983 alone, the year after The Story of Davidito was published, the cult reported 746 births.
You know what? I'm sorry. I don't have any sympathy for these cult members. These people are fucking stupid.
Yeah, you are.
I don't understand how anyone could read these Mo letters. It just drives me nuts.
You're a lost person. You're willing to believe in anything. You're at this point, you're looking for any sort of structure.
You said this exact same thing with Om Shinrikyo.
I hate the people. I don't know who can fall for this stuff.
Millions of people watched Peter Pan live on NBC.
Yeah, but and I watched a little bit of Hairspray live, and I thought that was actually pretty good. It was no John Waters Hairspray, but it was pretty good. Raiders. Woo!
No, Ricky, often called the Brown Prince.
I also will say I think that it was a relief because that was also Dr. Ben Carson's nickname throughout his college. He decided to change it when he ran for president. I thought that was very responsible.
That is responsible.
He was given forth to the cult as the perfect example of what a child should be, and his upbringing was the perfect example of how a child should be raised. And since his mother, Karen Zerby, was too busy with the day-to-day activities of the cult to actually raise him, most of Ricky's child care fell to Sarah Kelly, a.k.a. Sarah Davidito, and Angela Smith, a.k.a. Sue Cowton. These women were two of Berg's elite flirty fishers, so who better to raise the Messiah?
Platinum card holders.
Sarah fell into the cult in the early 70s at the age of 18 and was Berg's secretary for 30 years, described as one of Berg's most dedicated and mindless followers, going so far as to freely offer her 7-year-old daughter to Berg for sexual purposes. And Sarah's sexual depravity when it came to children seemed to have no bounds whatsoever, as her sexual contact with Ricky began when the boy was just 17 months old.
I'm going to actually also put this out there from her writings, and we're going to get into this, is I actually also think she was a little slow. I think that she was the perfect victim as well. Like, she got pulled into this thing. She was fucked up in the head, and because she was also not the smartest human being on the face of the planet, it's easy to flip these people. It's kind of like
There's
Gary
a lot of
Ridgway.
dumb people who,
but that's how I put Gary Ridgway is like this. Ed Kemper's kind of like this. So there's kind of people that are really like people that are kind of stupid that end up doing really fucked up things.
She doesn't get the dumb pass. That's when you shit your pants on a ride at Noah's Ark. You know, you don't get to.
A Kissel family story?
No, I did not. I did not go to Noah's Ark. I didn't. I didn't evacuate the wave pool.
It's very specific. This Christian theme park.
Noah's Ark is a great theme park in Wisconsin. Check it out. It's in the Wisconsin Dells, which makes a lot of money off of Native American imagery, but then they don't give any to the Native Americans. Anyway, this woman's disgusting. Okay.
This woman is absolutely awful. Yeah. But really, you can compare these people to, the Manson girls.
Yeah. Spacey idiots that get me turned into something evil.
Yeah, they're getting they're taken in when they're 18, and they're just and they're just completely and totally flipped around until they do anything that this person tells them to.
I understand. There's escalation and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's just incremental escalation. And of course these people wouldn't be doing this shit on their own. Like Susan Atkins never would have murdered anybody if she hadn't hooked up with Manson.
No, she had the infrastructure, which was good for her personality at some point, but then goes awry when it goes to murder. And I am against murder.
That's very good.
Thank you.
So we were going to read some stuff from...
I just read a bunch of stuff from Story of Davidito, and then we decided to cut it because it's blood fucking curdling.
It's absolutely disgusting.
And it's not like in a fun way, like the Albert Fish stuff is in a fun blood curdling way.
Albert Fish stuff is that fun either.
I think it's fun because of my life, how I've led my life up until this point. But it's because it feels like reading child pornography, and we read a lot of it ourselves.
Yeah.
So I think
that now you're admitting to.
I'm just saying, if you want to go ahead and really ruin your day, read the Story of Davidito, and it's on xfamily.org if you want. It's really fucking disgusting.
Yeah, it's the like I said, it's the worst cult artifact that has ever existed, or at least in the 20th century.
Yeah, and it's just like if you're driving your car and you were listening to us read it, you'd probably pull off into the other side of the highway.
No one would be happy. It's absolutely atrocious what they did to these children. As someone who had a lot of abused kids come into my home with foster care growing up, there is no crime worse than what they did to that kid.
Yeah.
And everyone in this cult should, forever pay a punishment for it.
Again, it's also the concept of normalizing it. The way they wrote about the abuse and the way Sarah, his nursemaid, wrote about the abuse is so innocent. Like, it's so like, oh, this is matter of fact. Everybody kisses their fucking kid on the penis. Like, everybody does this shit. It's like, no, they don't.
It was extremely innocent how they wrote it. That's how Don Lattin put it in his book, Jesus Freaks. It was so innocent. These people were full of belief that they were doing nothing wrong at all. Like one page would describe like toddlers humping each other and use it as an excuse, like using it as an example of how awesome they were doing raising the kids. And the next would go into a discussion about how Ricky's stamp collection is a quote tremendous teaching aid in geography.
And it's not. It's boring.
All right. Well, they should all be tortured forever.
Well, they're all dead. All these people are dead.
Yeah.
No,
hopefully.
they're not. Actually, most
Really?
of them are still alive.
Is David? Are they really? Sarah's still alive?
Yeah. Sarah's still alive. Karen Zerbe's still alive.
She's still in charge.
Yeah. They're not only still alive, they're thriving. I mean,
Well, they should all be brought to justice. That's what I say. I want John Walsh
Put
to
your pants
do a
back
show.
on. No, John Walsh is done.
John Walsh. He'll find them all. That's
Yeah.
what should happen.
and Ricky, he was raised right alongside this other girl whose name was Davidito. And Ricky was raised as the Messiah, while Davidito was raised as what was supposed to be a sexually liberated child. And both were put forth as examples of Bert's child-rearing abilities. And so, as we said earlier, these people, they didn't put their own faces in there. Of course, they thought there's nothing wrong with this. This is completely normal.
They obviously thought there was something wrong with this because they put their fucking smiley faces over their faces.
But they were saying it's the system that's going to come after us for this.
This would be one of the areas where I agree with the system.
That's why the system is there.
Kind of have to, because there's a bunch of religious fanatics going around doing horrible things to people.
This is actually the whole reason why the system
If
exists.
people weren't fucking their families, anarchy would work.
That's a good point.
No, while the main perpetrator was definitely the nanny Sarah, there was another nanny present, Sue Cowton, who, while she didn't participate as hardcore as Sarah did, would be the only one to pay for her part in the story of Davidito, which we will cover in full on the next episode.
And that gets kind of intense. The story of Davidito gets fucking really, really intense.
Yeah, because then it turns into the story of just a kid named Ricky, who's trying to deal with this horrible upbringing that he had.
Kid named Ricky turns into armed dude named Ricky.
Yeah, Ricky with the knives.
Well, you can't disagree with him for being upset.
No, you can't.
You can't.
Can't. No, I mean that's what breeds these sort of people,
And that's what we're really going to get into the next episode. Is it's pretty much the more than anything, it's the brain of a vigilante.
Yeah. It's
All right.
So sort of, it's like Batman.
Yeah, but then we'll get to see what actually happens if Batman exists, and also he was an electrician.
Oh, Batman was kind of an electrician. In a way. He knew a lot about gadgets and stuff like that. All right, so that's Children of God Part 3. We'll get into Part 4 after this, and then we'll be done with this, and they'll never talk about this subject again.
Yeah.
I hope everyone can forget the subject, quite frankly.
You know,
that's it.
the problem is that we're latched onto a horse that's called We Like Details. You know what I mean? And I think
not
that's a good
good.
name for a horse running in the Kentucky
We
Derby.
Like
We Like
Details.
Details.
Yeah, that's it. That is a good horse name.
But the problem with a horse called We Like Details, when he does the Children of God race, the Kentucky Derby Children of God race, at the end of the race, he doesn't get to the finish line. He blows his fucking brains out.
Yeah, well, I would agree. I would hope that everyone in that cult probably should have. But
Oh, good
that's
Lord.
my opinion anyway.
Yeah.
And that's my opinion anyway. That's the new segment from Ben Kissel here. I think they all should have blown their brains out.
Well, thank you guys for listening. We got a bunch of live dates coming up. We're going to be in Portland, Seattle, December 16th and 17th.
God. Marcus, I know you like to dig holes, and this is sort of, a philosophical one. Or what do you call it?
A grave.
A grave.
Well, Henry handed me the shovel.
There it is.
Yeah.
Good
And
job.
you know what? And we got to deliver the truth. All right, it comes down to it. It's the satanic light of fucking honesty, man. We can't fucking gild over the fucking details.
No, to some degree, I actually agree, because these are disgusting details, and you got to understand how gross it is to really combat it and understand how serious these problems are.
Absolutely.
Groupthink is bad.
Yeah.
And this is one of those things where groupthink always leads to fucked up shit like this. It
Right.
never fixes society. There's never an I'm not saw an example of a cult making something good for society.
If you have 5 friends and you all have the same haircut, it's a cult.
It's a cult.
Get out.
Get out.
Just don't do
Everybody
it.
wearing the same color Nike.
You're out.
You
get
get a
out.
cult.
Look
Get out
around
of it.
right now.
Yeah.
If everyone has the same shoes, everyone has the same haircut, and you're considering only wearing robes, get out.
Get out.
Yeah, that's exactly why we cover this stuff. That's exactly why we get into the details, so people can really see the consequences. And they can really see what happens if you get into this bullshit, and you can see what happens if you mindlessly follow anyone.
And little allowances build up to something big.
Exactly, little things. And that's even in personal relationships, too.
Everything. And
Everything.
All abusive relationships. It's a stupid concept, which I guess they found is real. The idea that if you throw a frog in boiling water, it hops out, but if you just turn up the temperature, it'll fucking die in there, which apparently scientists say is wrong. So why is it still a fucking saying?
But at the same time, if you look at little allowances, they can also really be beneficial. The Raiders were drafting offensive linemen. And everyone said, why are they drafting offensive linemen? Who cares? And look at the team they have now.
Wow.
What a strong core.
Finally.
But it's interesting that, like, a cult is essentially an abusive relationship.
That's it.
There are these little things that get turned up more and more and more, and you say yes just a little bit at a time.
And you feel
then,
icky about it. You're like, but I like all the good parts. He's got good things. There's good days. There's good times in the cult. And now, but it's like, fuck the bad days. But then all of a sudden, the bad days outweigh the good days, and all of a sudden you realize, this whole thing's been bad.
You're tied economically to them. Your entire existence is related to
You're
them.
making fucking weaponized botulism in a warehouse?
Waking up early and taking the train in Japan? That's a
big reason why a lot of these people didn't leave. Because really, the children of God, this whole, like, the whole pedophilia, incest thing, this was, as Henry said, this is a small group of it. This is a very small part of the children of God. Because we have a ton of listeners who were former Children of God members or had family members that were in the Children of God. We've gotten a ton of emails and Facebook messages. A lot of these people just kind of got wrapped up in this weird thing. They didn't go all the way with all the sexual sharing and all that type of shit. But they like living like this, like, weird kind of hippie lifestyle.
A pure lifestyle with God. They're supposed to have a pure relationship with God that was all about, like, getting rid of property and identity and getting rid of all of these concepts. And it gets to a point where we have some of that stuff for a reason.
The one thing that's never really talked about these people who are in the cults, they're a bunch of elitist scumbags in their own right. They look at normal people as if we're wrong.
That's the whole point. That's
they're the ones who are projecting. Yeah, they're the 1%.
Thank you, Bernie.
Yeah. No, the whole point of children of God especially is the being the elite, understanding, knowing, having the knowledge that nobody else has.
Kind of like being a Patreon donator here at Last Podcast on the Left.
Go to patreon.com/Last Podcast on the Left to contribute to our Patreon.
If you really want to truly be of the inner sanctum of people that understand what's going on in society.
Well, speaking of the inner sanctum, on Abe Lincoln's Top Hat, we did talk about politics a little bit today. You can follow up on what's happening with Trump and his cabinet. It's very exciting.
It came out today. It could be Bobby V as ambassador to China.
Bobby Valentine, manager of the New York Mets.
The New York Mets, Bobby V.
We're doing fine.
Everything is going great. So, yes, thank you guys so much for supporting the shows. Abe Lincoln's Top Hat's doing great, new and noteworthy. We really appreciate everything. And Roundtable of Gentlemen, check that show out. Wizard and the Bruiser, that was mentioned earlier. And Page 7, Sex and Other Human Activities, and all the shows here on CCR.
Absolutely. And, we mentioned the Patreon earlier, and that ties into our upcoming live shows. If you are a Patreon subscriber, even if you give just $1 a month, you get access to pre-sales for our live shows. At least one day, sometimes more. We send you a message that tells you when the pre-sales are up, and all you have to do is give $1 or more per month. And if all of you guys gave $1, Jesus Christ, I mean, that would be completely life-changing for us. The Patreon has already been hugely life-changing. Thank everybody so much for giving to our Patreon. Go to cavecomedyradio.com/live to see all of our upcoming live dates. We've still got a couple of tickets left for our early show in Portland, but those are definitely going to sell out. We're definitely going to sell out Chicago. We already almost sold out with just our pre-shows. We just put on sale San Francisco for March 25th, and we just put on sale Kansas City, Missouri for January 28th. All of those dates and tickets are available at cavecomedyradio.com/live.
Can't wait to get that fresh crystal meth in sweet, sweet Missouri.
I was thinking about the chili.
That's Cleveland.
Kansas City is quite known for their chili.
Yeah.
Really?
No, with Cleveland, you're just thinking of chili and spaghetti.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of a strange way they do it over there. I thought that was Cincinnati.
That's Cincinnati. Cincinnati. It's right. It's cinnamon chocolate chili.
Cleveland, I don't know. I think they have maybe a gut buster or something.
That's where Drew Carey was
garbage.
from.
I think Cleveland has garbage plate. Think garbage abuse.
Right.
That's true. I don't know.
I'm just going to pretend we successfully finished this episode. Got to do that. Hail yourselves, everyone.
Hail Satan.
Hail Gin.
Hail me and give me your money.
All right. Well, now you're soliciting money.
Magustalations.
Magustalations.
For more shows like the one you just listened to, go to cavecomedyradio.com.